Yeah, now we should work.
All right. Well, I hope we're working. Are
Oh
we?
my God.
What did you do?
Didn't do
What you
anything.
turned it on?
We just hit stream.
You turned it on. It was the on button. That's what happened. You turned it on. Oh my God. Greetings and welcome to season 4. This is a challenging season for us of IFB Interfleet
I'm gonna stop
Broadcasting.
number 2 to see if it fixes you.
I'm New York Pete, and this is my best friend Chris, the Tipsy Toaster. We want to thank you for tuning in. This is our news and pop culture sci-fi entertainment channel. Full disclosure, we grew up on 70s, 80s TV, movies, comics, and cartoons, and we are big BSG fans. So welcome to our corner of the universe. Chris, take it away.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it away. All right. Evidently, you are still behind us about 30 seconds, 40 seconds. So let me see what I can do on my end to see if we can fix that up a little bit. Um, well, you're back behind a minute, I think. What the heck's going on? All right, say something.
I'm
Okay.
here.
Yep, you're still behind. Give me 1 second. Save that one. Let me look over here to the call quality and see if I can drop that down to mobile. I swear it's your, because I bet John's fine. Hang on, let me pull John up.
How am I doing?
You're fine.
Woohoo!
It's Pete.
Excellent.
It's Pete once again.
Oh,
He's only a couple of
And
seconds behind now.
all right.
yeah, I hear him. I
Yeah,
hear him
it's,
fine.
it's all. I think we're all messed up. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's see. Let's see. Am I back up?
Start talking.
I'm told.
Yeah, you're
I'm
back
told
up
that
and
I'm.
running. What'd
I'm
you
back
do?
up.
What did you do?
Oh, I did a bunch of stuff.
What did you do? I need to know.
I actually turned off my anti-tracking.
Anti-tracking?
Yeah.
What the heck is that?
I don't know. It's some kind of antivirus thing.
Oh, that definitely could be your problem.
Well, I just turned it off. So
And whatever it did, fixed it. I dropped your quality pretty far down,
Yeah.
so just so you know, you're getting this crap back. So,
okay.
yay!
So
So, hi everybody.
yeah. All right.
It's not me. I knew it. It's Pete. It's Pete's
All
stuff.
right.
It's
I
Pete's
think we
setup.
think we fixed it. I think we fixed it, but I'm pretty sure everybody got our welcome
Yes.
and everybody knows that we are.
Hi.
That's right. And that's right. So we're good. I think we're good to go tonight, guys. And no, it's not here we go again. I think it's here we go.
Wait a minute. That
So
just brings a song to my mind. You know, here we
oh my,
go again. On my
yeah,
sorry.
no, I don't think so. I
Oh,
don't think so. I think we're good. Tonight, not only do we have John One, but we have Bert-Oliver Boehmer, who's a science fiction award-winning author, and he's also um, a member of the Science Fiction Fantasy Writers Association, and it takes a doing to get into that as well. So he's a active member in there, and he's going to tell us about his new book that came out, and I think it's part of the trilogy. We're going to find out if it's the last book or not. So yeah, looking forward to that. And there's some other stuff we'll talk about, including the space race is back on, and the
Yes.
United States is back on the moon. So that's cool. And that happened earlier today. I put
But
it up
but
on.
why are we
Uh,
back on the moon?
oh, it's
oh.
for commercial purposes, man. We're commercializing the moon. What's the matter with you?
Come buy your moon rocks. Moon rocks. Come and get
They're
your
coming.
moon rocks.
They're coming your way. And as a matter of fact, you might be able to go there yourself and get them. So don't worry
That's
about
it.
that. You might be able to get them. Don't worry.
That's fine. This is how the Cylons thing starts. You go out
That's
there,
right.
you mess around.
You mess around and things will
We
happen. But
pick up the broadcasts that you're
Yeah,
talking on the
yeah.
moon there.
Yep, don't worry.
We
It's
find
happening.
we find Earth, and we
Oh,
destroy
yeah.
it.
Go on a moon rock picking vacation,
Expedition.
and the robots try to kill you on the moon.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, that's a good movie.
Hey, that's a movie,
an
man.
idea.
That's
There
a
you go.
movie. Yeah.
We gotta trademark that sucker right now. Yeah.
Let's go copyright that. WGA, send it right out. John, thanks for coming on. I know I helped put together your deck for tonight. You got some really cool things to mention. But before we do that,
Yes.
let's do our toast to the fans. Tipsy Toaster, I think you got your.
Yes,
are you
I
good
have
to go?
my weird thing as usual.
Oh,
Budweiser on hand.
But Budweiser.
Budweiser. Ready?
Because every good, hang on, you got to do it right.
Yeah.
You gotta,
Go ahead, do it.
Ready. Here we go. Pete's,
Yeah.
Pete's pitch. Budweiser. For every good Viper pilot who needs to drive drunk, Budweiser is the thing. Drink
It's
a Budweiser
fly.
today.
Fly.
Let's fly
Oh
drunk.
my God.
Yes.
You ruined it. You killed it. What's the matter with you? We want to get positive attention. What are you talking about?
It's
oh, my,
Budweiser. Fly drunk with your Viper.
oh my God.
Tonight
All
I
right.
have. Oh, that's a big one. Whew, that's really big. I got to reset that. One up. I have. I'm probably going to say it wrong. Giant.
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 Hard
Giant.
kombucha. It is Taco
giant.
Tuesday, pineapple and jalapeno brewed with green tea.
You enjoy that, my friend. Yes, drink that and enjoy. Oh my God.
Spelled
doesn't-
wrong, tastes right.
Did you make that up or does that say it on
That's
the
what it
tin?
says right there.
Oh my
Spelled
God. that's
wrong,
good.
tastes right.
Oh my God.
It's a hard kombucha, pineapple and jalapeno, and it is from government warning. Cylons are not allowed this. Will make your eye cross.
Oh my
Funny
God,
spelling, serious ingredients. Taco Tuesday is bright, snappy, and tropical with a subtle bit of satisfying whisper of spice. What's not inside? Gluten, fake sweeteners, preservatives, natural flavors, artificial flavors, concentrates, artificial. So it's really good for you, evidently. And this is made in Longmont, Colorado.
Wow.
Colorado from.
Wow.
Yep. So this one looks very interesting. So, yeah, we'll have to find out.
Yes, we will. I sure hope so.
John, have you got anything tonight?
just a cup of tea. I was
Cup of tea.
out last couple of days.
Just a
Yeah, I'm
cup
trying
of
to get
tea.
over a cold, so a little cup
Just
of
a
tea.
cup of tea.
You have to drink it. What are you doing? You
Please
don't drink
stop.
that before. Yeah, we got to toast. A, we have to toast.
Yep.
And B, it doesn't count. No. Chris, what John didn't do it right, so it doesn't count.
Right.
When you're drinking, John, the pinky must come up. That's if you're drinking tea, you got to raise the pinky, man. So, all right. So
Wait.
Wait.
Wait. I probably
All right.
spilled on myself.
All right, got to open mine. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
One,
Ready? 1,
two,
2, 3.
three.
Oh, Budweiser. Love Budweiser. Excellent. All right. Ready? Oh, it's good.
Dump this in here, so let's see what it looks
Okay.
like. Yeah, here we
Doing
go.
it. Chris, I hope you don't burn a hole in your esophagus when you're drinking that nonsense.
It's a little bit of jalapeno and pineapple. Look, it actually looks a little bit like jalapeno pineapple.
Oh, it looks so
Look at
good.
that
Look at
clear,
that. Beautiful,
look.
clear. Yep, clear. That's right. Clear Budweiser. Loved by Budweiser. All right. So for all you guys out there watching us live, and for all the fans that watch us later, this is to you.
For you. So thank you so much for being fans, and you are what makes the fleet go forward. Fandoms are fueled by by fans, and the fleet is fueled by the fans.
Fans feel the fleet.
Yeah,
Fans feel the fleet.
I need this evidently really bad. So fans feel the fleet.
That's right. Oh boy. Rob, I know, is with us, and Janet Jenkins is with us. Cheers, Janet. I believe there's a bunch of others that are on us.
I'm not
What?
sure.
Oh God. I hope it doesn't run out your
spicy?
nose.
It does have a kick.
What kind of kick?
It's got definitely a pineapple taste. And
Oh
there's
boy.
definitely a bit of a spicy kick to it. Hang on.
Oh
It's
really?
not spicy when it comes out.
Oh, let's not be rude now. Oh my God.
That'll
Okay.
keep your eye.
Good joke.
That'll keep your eye moving.
John, are you drinking with your pinky up?
Matt,
man?
get
It
that
doesn't
pinky
count.
out. Get
There
that
we
pinky
go.
out.
All right, now you're doing it right. All right, guys. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being patient with us. As you can see, the Tipsy Toaster is getting his collection of Battlestar Galactica sci-fi collectibles all in place behind him, one at a time, piece by piece. Oh yeah, I see the Cylon Buddhas. No disrespect intended. That's just an homage to Buddha and the Cylon. So, right, we don't want anybody to get offended. George G in the house. That will keep you regular. Yes, hopefully. And let's see. Wrong Way Feldman was a great character on Gilligan. Okay. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. And we have a great guest that's coming on, Bert-Oliver Boehmer, sci-fi military author. He'll be with us in a little while. But in the meantime, we have John 1, and he's got an update for us. So, John, why don't you get into your little piece there, your segment?
Oh, hang on.
Is there an alcohol
hey.
content on that kombucha?
5%.
Ah,
That's not much.
Not worth
my
it.
wife won't.
It's okay.
I gotta get some. My wife has been drinking the healthy stuff.
It's pretty healthy actually, so it's not that bad. So
Oh, boy.
all right, well,
Oh,
John,
boy.
I see you here and here and here. I
And
see you there.
press more buttons.
I'm working on
I'm
it.
everywhere.
John,
Interview
you found out.
2.
John and I were talking about.
There he is. Interview 3. I
You
found
got it? All right.
I found
We
it.
talked about film noir right before we started. There we go. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Burt Lancaster and Ava Gardner, and I think Michael O'Brien or
Yeah, it's great. You're gonna love that
Evan
one.
O'Brien. Good actor. He was
Yep.
good. He was good.
You'll like it.
All right. Hello, everybody. We have a quick review of things to come. First up, Netflix has released today a live-action series of The Last Airbender. It's a game based on I think it's based on a cartoon show, but this is a live-action one, so it looks pretty good. The series is kind of centered around the journey of 12-year-old Aang, the current avatar and last survivor of his nation, and he travels the whole realm of Earth, Wind, and Fire, and he tries to do good things and tries to just do what Aviator does. So that's on today on Netflix.
You say Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Yeah, there's different realms. There's realm of Earth and there's realm of Wind, and
Now I
never
just
could get into
now
the
I just got
cartoon
the song
series.
stuck in my head, so never mind. Go ahead.
So I have to check that out. And first up, we have Dune 2 is coming. The long-awaited wait is coming
Yes.
in theaters March 1st. They
Yeah.
say previous to
that's
this
not it.
is going to be
Peach, put these
they
out
say
of
the
order.
previous to this is going to be great. There's good actors in it, and it's worth it. And plus, Paul Atreides continues his effort to avenge his family, and with Christopher Walken is playing the Emperor. So that should be something to see.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
The spice has to move.
Yeah.
Walken is the
Oh my
So
God.
it's a previous episode. It's pretty cool. So that's coming March 1st in theaters. And the dead are back again and again and again.
And again.
And yep. And that's going. What was going to be a movie is
They're
now
never
turned into a
dead.
series. They're never dead. They keep coming more and more.
The ones who live.
Series. And it's The Walking Dead, another series. Rick Grimes and Michonne attempt to find each other and who they were, and we
Oh,
finally got to
please.
see who took them. So this is The Walking Dead, the ones that live, out this February 25th, this Sunday on AMC. And
Good
Adam
God.
Sandler will star in Netflix's upcoming movie Spaceman, out on Netflix, February 23rd. Sandler plays a Czech, I guess, scientist who wants to be the first astronaut in his country.
That's
And
gonna be.
I guess he goes up in space, and he's on a lone mission, and he finds some kind of mysterious creature that helps him with things on his spaceship. So it could be going mad, or it could be going sci-fi, but I kept
Huh.
trying to see comedy in there, but it's sci-fi drama.
It's
so.
it's sci-fi drama. I was about to ask if there's any comedy whatsoever. This is going to be tough to watch Adam Sandler without some kind of comedy.
Without laughing.
Yeah, it's got.
That's right.
It's hard to break
Give it a
out of
go.
that stereotype, I'm sure.
Well, see if you can pull it off. It looks like a pretty good premise, so that'll be out tomorrow on Netflix. And so, and I think the mysterious woman is in the spaceship by himself, but we'll have to see. That's a week. So good reviews. And for our friend and previous guest, Kelly Jones, Dark Horse Comics will publish his Dracula series. That should be coming out in October. Looking forward to it. Also, let's see. Remember the old comic books, science fiction in
Yeah.
the 40s and 50s, like was it Strange Tales,
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt, stuff like that?
Yes.
Well, it looks like they're bringing it back. They're bringing back E&C Comics. Those are the ones that covered it. So all the great writers, all new writers are going to cover it now. So it's going to start in June and July. So that's going to be good from Oni Press.
Cruel
That's gonna be pretty
Universe. Yeah.
Yep, that's the cover from in August. So it's going to be a sci-fi one and it's going to be a horror one. So it's two different series
Excellent.
coming out. So it's looking pretty good. I actually tried to contact Oni, see if they can come on give us an interview about it. So I'm still waiting.
That would be fantastic. Oh, very cool. The Dune the image we have for Dune.
There's-
Yeah,
I
there we
found
go.
It was just out of order.
Okay. Well, yeah, it was so that's coming out. It's I think it's soon, right? In a couple of weeks, I
Yeah.
think.
Coming out
Oh.
March 1st.
Well, I want to let you guys know that our very own Captain Martin, Mr. George Zuvalos, is with us. Thank you for joining us live, George. He says Christopher Walken from Astoria, Queens, New York, where The Stranded Warrior was filmed, is going to be
Right.
the Emperor. So that's a
Walken-
little tidbit for
Walken Bakery.
everybody. That's right. That's right. Was in Astoria for a long time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's see. I'm looking forward to. I just rewatched the first Dune. I liked it very much. I'm hoping that the second one lives up to it, and I think they're going to go to a third one to wrap up the first book, or is it?
Yeah, I
How's
think
that
it's going to be
gonna
a
work?
third one. There's probably going to be a third one to finish this one up. This one's like over 2 hours long, so they're probably going to do a part 3.
Ooh,
So that's what
Yeah.
they're doing. Plus, they have another one, another movie coming out in the fall about
Yeah.
that sisterhood. It's like a subshot, but it's going to be a different movie about it. So
ooh,
that should be pretty good.
Oh, that is
those
pretty
strange
cool.
sisters that shave their head and they put their
yeah,
hand in the box. They're gonna do a movie about that.
very
It's already
cool.
in production.
All right,
Sounds cultish.
hey, I got to tell you, 40K. 40K, John. They just I just picked up one of the latest books. It's the last book in the Siege of Terra. It's The End and the Death, Volume 3, and it's written by Dan Abnett, who is a master of the 40K world, and it has to do with the death of the Emperor at the hands of his son Horus, the Primarch, the number one Primarch, and it's phenomenal. I'm right in the beginning of it, and it's nothing but the fall of Terra and what happens, and it's just phenomenal book. Highly recommend if anybody's into the 40K. This book is definitely worth your time. So please consider. I jumped in, of course, into the third. I already know the whole series, so I may even go back and pick up the others. There's a lot of them. There's like 23, I think, books altogether. This is a trilogy wrapping up the end of the Emperor, and then he gets. Well, I won't give it away, but it's really cool, and so highly recommend, John, if you get a chance. I know Chris is still battling on whether or not to go into the 40K world, but it is phenomenal, man.
Wait, put your toe in
Yeah,
it, Chris.
I-
Do what
I-
I'm doing.
I
I'm
did.
still trying to wade in.
I did the audiobook that Pete recommended, and then I did another audiobook after that, and I actually one of the very first audiobooks I ever returned.
Man,
I didn't understand it. You have to be involved in that universe before they had that book, evidently, because it started out and I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they're saying. I don't know who these people are. I don't know what the heck this thing is. So I was like, nope, sorry, got to return
there's
it.
there's a lot of there's a lot of talk on a lot of the blogs and social media on what is the right book, and there is no definitive answer on which one to step into for the world of 40,000 Warhammer 40,000. There is no one book. It's kind of hard to figure out where to go or where to start, but it'll be cool if Cavill is successful with his movie. Actually, John, I heard that it might be a series. It might be an actual TV series and not a movie.
That's what I was thinking. I was in the impression that it's going to be a series.
Yeah. So if that happens, that's where everybody's it'll blow up even more than it is.
That's going to sky. That's going to be the thing they need to push through. You know.
Oh yeah,
Warhammer's
absolutely.
Popular, but after this series, it's going to go way up.
Rob Baum says, are they going to adapt all of Herbert's Dune books? From what I understand, they're going to go far into like the grandchildren. So I don't know if that's the second or third book. So that's what I heard. It's going to go pretty deep.
Wow. That's going to be good.
Yeah, man.
Very cool. I never was a Dune fan, but I did enjoy the audiobook for the very first Dune. So that was, I did like it. I didn't get the second one, but I did enjoy the
Dune
first
Messiah.
one.
Yeah, it's the first one's a great one. So's the second, but all right, we'll see, guys. So John, what else do you have kind of lined up?
Well, Christopher Waltz, he's the guy that played the German guy in Inglourious Bastards and Django. He's in talks to star in Luc Besson's new adaptation of Dracula. So that's going to be another Dracula movie coming out.
Interesting.
In a year. So I see him as Van Helsing, but that's more to come as more news comes out.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool. Van Helsing as Van Waltz as Van Helsing. That's going to be pretty cool. And February 22nd, FX, the remake of the epic series Shogun, is coming out. Based on the book, I think, by Clavel. It used to be a mini series years ago when we used to enjoy mini series. They don't do that anymore, but I wish they would. This one's going to be a lot more shocking, a lot more violent, and a lot more action-packed. That's going to be on FX and Hulu on February 27th. So that's
that's going to be sweet.
To that.
Yeah.
And let's see. Great are amazing. And see, March 9th, Indie Comics Clearwater Con. Indie Comics Greater Con is going to be at New Haven, Connecticut on March 9th. Awesome Con, March 8th to 10th, Washington, D.C. And Galaxy Con, March 15th and 17th in Richmond, Virginia. And to Mr. McCauley, I got it. Looking forward to it. Great comic.
Excellent.
You guys can pick it up. Pick up Dracula from Mr. Chris McCauley. It's a really good comic.
Oh, yeah. Great story. Oh, yeah.
And that's it for me.
Thanks, John. Always appreciated. So I know that we have a bunch of guests coming up, all courtesy of John's outreach. So thank you very much for doing that. And we're moving along. And stay tuned also for IFB exclusives. We got some of that in the future. So every couple of weeks or so, we'll put that up, and it'll be a 30-minute segment with someone that's either been on our show or somebody new, and they're going to be giving us a scoop on what's going on. And obviously it'll have something to do with sci-fi media, and we're going to go from there. So hopefully you guys saw the one we did with Chris McCauley. He will be coming back soon, and we have a lot of new stuff to talk about. His Terminator role-playing game and his links to the Terminator franchise, Dark Legacies, the Stokerverse, and a couple of other franchises. I think it's Cowboys and Dinosaurs and a bunch of other things that he's doing. So he'll be back to give us the scoop, and we'll take it from there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Outstanding. And we're waiting for Strange New Worlds, right, guys? Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, and he's involved with that as well. And this Discovery is going to wrap up their last
Final
season.
Yep.
Yeah, So that's coming up soon too. But yeah, John, thanks again, man.
Cool. Thank you. March is a good month.
March
We got
is a
lots
good
It
of
is.
stuff coming out.
So
Lots
far,
of stuff coming out in March.
so far, the end of February is a great month because we got Pete up and running again.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Chris.
I'll take my healthy drink to that.
That's it. Take care.
Yes, your healthy drink. Absolutely. All right, John. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, guys. Have
Keep
a good
up
night.
the good work. Yep.
Thank you.
Don't go too far.
Yep.
All right. So, with that said, we are. Do we have our special guest? Is he?
I
out
do
yet?
not see our special guest as of yet.
Okay.
Unless,
All right. No
I am
problem.
the special guest. If that's the case, then yes, your
Then
special
you
guest is
are-
right here.
Yeah. The other special guest.
So you define special as
special guest. We have to say it twice. Is that it?
super special.
Yeah, super special. Well, you know what? There's a couple of things that we didn't get to go into last show. However, you have a couple of things that I
Yeah.
sent your way.
So I finally got to open my Christmas present
Yay!
in February. Late February, I finally got to open it.
That's pretty funny.
That is
So
pretty-
drum roll,
Drum roll.
and
So
take a look at this, guys.
I got some cool things. So let me pull over to my camera, and I'm going to go ahead and do an overhead shot here in a minute. Maybe. Hello, phone.
Maybe, maybe not.
I gotta get my phone.
Let's see. Yeah, there's a couple of cool things I think you'll bring up, and then I'll follow it up with a couple of things that I got that I think everybody enjoys that are Galactica related.
All
So
right, let's see if this works here. Scenes from a hat.
right. Oh, you're working on your camera, aren't you?
Yeah, hang on one second.
All right, cool.
Video.
Let's see. Hey, whoever's on, I know we got a bunch of you guys watching live. Make sure that you put up a quick hello on the chat there so we can recognize you. We thank you for coming on, and thank everybody for watching afterwards. And there it is.
Yeah, so
it's,
these are my Christmas presents I got. Sorry.
Organized chaos there.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, yeah, I could show you. So the other computer's still down, but here it is over here. It's in one piece, as you can see. It needs a little help. Needs a lot of help. There's the hard drive that's messed up, and then I think the mother drive. But anyways, back to the cool stuff. Pete got this for me, and I think this was really cool. I didn't know things like this existed, but this thing is called Future Threads. This is a special Star Trek section, but this is costume design for the science fiction world. This thing has patterns in it. I couldn't believe it's got patterns in it. Check this out. So I love V, and there are all the costuming for Star Trek 2, and it's got information on the uniforms. But not only that, it has patterns.
Yep.
The uniform patterns. Like every one of these squares is 1 inch, so you just blow it up. That is
Pretty
so
cool, right? Yep.
That is so cool. And they got pictures. The Klingon duty uniform. It talks all about the Klingon duty uniform. Gotta love
That's
Chris-
awesome.
Back to the Future, Marty. Song.
And is that John Colicos was up on there? I
Yep.
think that was him in the little box. Was that him?
That's him.
There it is. There's Baltar. Yep. So cool.
And then Sandman from Logan's
Mhm.
Run.
There you go. Now you're talking.
Now we're talking good stuff there. Uniform, black number, gray number. I mean, they got the color numbers on there. And here we go.
Wow.
This is my favorite. Uniform pattern for that. This is it.
V.
Visitor costumes.
Oh, it's
Love
good.
it. Design history. And then here are the costumes. Look at that.
No joke.
I would love to have a V costume. I got Diana.
Get that needle and thread out, man.
Oh yeah, I can do that really well. Construction notes for some
Oh.
of the stuff on the ship, the shuttles. I love it. John, there's John. Not our John, not our John,
The other John.
but the other John.
No, the other John.
And then we have some
Oh,
Doctor
yeah.
Who. You can look like Doctor Who too.
No, Tom Baker.
Yep.
That's my doctor.
It's got all the future threads. It's just crazy, and it even goes to Star Wars with Darth Vader, the pattern. Darth Vader, Han Solo,
Nice.
some sketches, and more uniform patterns. I just can't get over the patterns. You don't normally see. Why didn't they do a Battlestar one? Princess Leia sketch. They don't have a Princess Leia costume in here, do they? Gotta be. Oh, they do. There it is. Huh. Who would have thought?
Not fooling around with that one, man.
This is pretty cool. I mean, you have step by step.
Yep.
Starting with the crotch area. Pin A, okay. Belt loops. So, New Media Publication Incorporated. So this is kind of cool. This is something that I didn't know existed. So thanks, Pete, for this one. And
Yep.
not only did he give me that, I got one of my favorites.
Ta-da!
Yep. Can you read that? I think we can read that. There we go. But
So,
Diana,
there you go.
That's
Merry
amazing.
Christmas.
And then Star Trek Speaks. I haven't read this one yet. I don't know what this one's about. Wit, wisdom, humor, and philosophy culled directly from the scripts of the greatest TV adventure of all time, created by Gene Roddenberry. So this one looks like it's going to be pretty interesting.
It's one of my favorites.
Like,
mine is dog-eared. I love that book.
If you're an
And
excellent
so-
tactician, Captain, let your second in command attack while you sit and watch for weakness. Ooh.
Oh, that's a quote from Khan.
Yep.
Khan Union Singh.
First, study the enemy. Seek weakness. Romulan commander, balance of terror. You speak of courage. Obviously, you do not know the difference between courage and foolhardiness. Always it is the brave ones who die, the soldiers. Core. So, really cool. Those will look fun. Like, love those.
It's a good one. It's an easy read. It's a lot of fun.
And then,
One of my favorite Star Trek books.
Then, there's this, so Matt Bush gave us some stuff, and he signed one of my favorites.
Yep.
One of my favorite comics.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yep. That's his cover.
And he's got he's got his own movie he's working on, Aladdin 3477. So he gave me stickers and some pins.
Yep. All collector stuff.
Yep. Magnet. That's a nice thick one too.
Yeah, it's a good
And
one.
then I got another present from somebody we don't know who this could be. But Eric Padden, who's been on our show numerous times, Professor Padden,
Good friend of ours.
sent me his copies of his fanzines that he did back in the day. And the only thing I can say, Mr. Padden, you should have signed them. I don't see a signature here anywhere. Doggone it. But this was 1998, Clean Slate Press, Sharon Monroe.
Wow.
We're still looking for, by the way. So this one is Galactica
So
1984, Earth Stands Still. And then he gave me a large one, Eric Padden. Right? A story set in the universe of Battlestar Galactica 1980. Remembrance of Things Past. This one's a thick one.
Ooh.
This one's a novel. I mean, we're talking...
That's cool.
A
That's
novel
cool.
novel.
That is so cool.
I'll have to read through
Well,
this
speaking of fanzines and there's
Switch over
there's
to
a
you now.
couple I found, and I wanted to just put these out and then see if any of you might know who these authors are. And in the meantime, we can check up on our esteemed special guest, Bert-Oliver Boehmer, who's going to be talking to us about his upcoming books. I got this, guys. I don't know how many of you are familiar with it. I didn't know that this even existed, but it's the Star Cobalt Journals, and this is number. I don't have any of the previous ones or after, but this looks very, very interesting. And the staff, Holly Oakes and Rick Victor. This copy is number 24 of 100. And let me just show you some of the artwork. Looks pretty interesting. That's one. And there's a few others. The stories seem pretty good also. And I will be giving you feedback on that as I actually read these. But, oh yeah, here's another. This is really cool. Look at this. I know that Tipsy would actually have something to say, because I'm imagining that one of those is, I don't know, maybe Athena. I don't know. I didn't read it
No,
yet.
could never be Athena, right?
Yeah. So let's see. I bet you there's another good. Yeah, here's oh, look at this, guys. This is incredible. Gotta love this artwork. Look at that.
Ooh,
That's really
I
cool.
love the eagle there.
Yeah, this is really cool
Definitely
stuff.
Egyptian.
Yeah. So that's the Star Cobalt Journals. And then
You said that was one of 100?
yeah, 100. It's number 24 of 100.
I didn't even know
So-
that. I'm not sure I even have any of those.
Yeah. This you have.
Yes.
Galactica you have. Okay. So this is number 1. And I have number 2. And then there's this one, which I believe is number 7. This has been out for a while. But I never
I
had
know I
it.
have number 7. 1 and 2, I'm not sure I have. I got to find my. I got to unpack it sometime and find
So
my
I
list.
did thumb through. I thumbed through the number 1, and it's interesting, very interesting. Gene Graham from San Diego, California. Let me see. Fanzine based on a television series, Battlestar Galactica, and let's see. Cover art, Frank Liltz. Editor's note. I've been asked if there's a second one. Yeah. So in the editor's note inside here, it says basically that not sure if they're going to actually publish another one. They have to make sure that they can get enough content. So we know that it went to at least number 7, and the first story
They went
is
past that, I'm sure.
yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. We have to look it up. I think these can be looked up in terms of like a wiki or something. But the price from Fire in Space, first draft by Michael Sloan. This idea much changed. Later became the episode Murder on a Rising Star. Battlestar Galactica Guide to Fantastic and Original Plots. The SF Horror Movie Pocket Computer. Inside TV Star Wars reprinted from Us Magazine. And Starflight and Galactica articles and reviews reprinted from the San Diego Union. That's interesting. So stuff that came out that was in the newspaper. Wow. Very cool. Man, I wish I had actually jumped on this when they first came out. I think I've mentioned this before that I did not. I was still trying to chase down, magazines like Starlog and Starburst and Fantastic Films, and trying to catch those that had anything to do with Galactica. And so I let stuff like this pass me by. And I remember, this is cool. Look at this. I remember dealers at the conventions having boxes of fanzines, all kinds, and I just didn't have the money, and I was buying the
Ooh,
magazines, so
I
I
remember
let
that.
some of the stuff go. Yeah, isn't that cool?
What's the one on the right? What's that on the left there?
Science fiction horror movie Pocket Computer. Oh my God! Earth burns up or freezes or falls into the sun, and everybody dies. The end. It's look at the flow chart.
It's a flowchart.
It's a flow chart. Yeah, it's a flow chart on possibilities on how to write, or I guess just kind of interesting. Yeah. Isn't that cool? Remember we used to write flow charts? Oh, here's some artwork. What is this? Oh, look at that.
Eh,
Little cartoon from Galactica #1 fanzine. Um, so I don't know, guys. I just thought that it's kind of cool to rediscover some of the past in these self-published fanzines that were out there that have been forgotten, and they're all new. It's all new stuff because many of us obviously didn't get a chance to read these. If there was only 100 copies made, obviously most of us did not get to see these. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to bring them up. I'm going to be reading them,
Hey,
and then
yeah.
I will be talking.
Hey,
And
John. Just I
yeah.
know if John, if you can hear me, give him interview 2.
Oh, okay.
Send him interview
All right.
2.
All right, so our guest is going to come on to interview line 2. Chris will set that up. In the meantime, I just again wanted to thank all of you for coming on. I thought that the whole fanzine thing has always been a big part of IFB's background. Chris is the one that's kind of really brought it back into the limelight, at least here on our show, and gotten me interested in it. I unfortunately took a long time to catch on, and we were lucky enough to have superfan Fran Severn, and of course Professor Eric Padden as part of our IFB big family that we have here. And they've been on, and we're going to have them again. We'll bring them back on. So that's going to be cool. And Mediocre Modeler, hey Fleet, Tipsy, I think your PC has gone the way of the Ravishal Pulsar. Absolutely, yes.
And that's
I got to see
and
pictures of it.
and once again,
It's wrecked.
the Ravishal Pulsar was all faked. Didn't really happen.
Yeah, but
But you guys didn't blow it up. It was faulty design.
yes,
on.
but
They
Chris's
admitted.
computer
They admitted.
Chris's computer did blow up.
It was infected by a colonial virus. That's
Yeah,
That's the way
whatever.
that's my story, and I'm going to stick to it.
It's the good. All right. Gary, thank you for joining us. He was blamed for blowing up the Romulan sun, so I guess not. Well, Gary, thanks for joining us, man. And of course, Mediocre Modeler, you had put up an update on your project, so hopefully you're going to
His
continue.
trip to Hobby Lobby was interesting.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. Thank you for posting that. I always enjoy stuff like that. So yeah, it's all good, guys. We are trying to manipulate another channel for our guest, Bert-Oliver, who is a sci-fi fan, award-winning author, and a supporter of IFB. So he'll be on in a little bit, hopefully, and he'll tell us about the latest book in his trilogy. And so he'll be, yep, okay, so we're getting closer on that.
Yep.
187 days till Dragon Con, by the way. Thank you, Paul. Paul's been putting up some really cool stuff on the Colonial Warriors social media site. So thank you for maintaining that, Paul. Appreciate it. So
we're good with Mr. Oliver?
yes, excellent.
Mr. Boehmer, I'm sorry.
So we actually have, we kind of mentioned this, and today is a great day to have Bert-Oliver Boehmer back. He is so for his book, The Three Immortals, he is an International Book Award finalist for that particular one, and now he's on the third of it, and we have a small presentation to go along with, a refamiliarization with his work for everybody. But I also wanted to mention the fact that not only is he big into, science fiction and Galactica and, writing, but today happens to be the day that the IM-1 Nova C ship has landed. It's an autonomous spacecraft that the United States launched. It made it onto the moon, and there was a SpaceX rocket that launched it, and there was a little bit of a delay. I put up a link on IFB, so I hope you guys got a chance to see that. It was a little anticlimactic, but I'm sure they're going to bring it back. So I know that Bert-Oliver Boehmer, I know, Bert, that you're into space as well, that you're a fan of the aspect of space and technology and all the things that go on. And so I think it's appropriate that not only did we talk about fanzines and writings, but that happened today. And here you are. Welcome to Interfleet Broadcasting. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm well. How's the sound tonight? Can you guys hear me okay?
Awesome.
Absolutely. 100%. So
Perfect.
you're back. You'd been on our program a while ago, and now you're wrapping up the trilogy, and it's exciting news, and it's exciting to have you. So I just want to, before you get a chance to get into the mechanics of everything, of the story, backstory, and this book that you have that just is out, is the fact that you're a big fan of SciFi and IFB. And so you're a follower, you're a supporter, you come up on the chats, and I just wanted to recognize that and thank you for supporting IFB. But we want to hear more about your successes. So how are things going?
Things are going well, and thankfully I'm just not wrapping the trilogy up. The trilogy is wrapped up. So the third book is out, and it was, out of the three, the most difficult to write. The first one, I could go really wild. It was my debut science fiction novel, so whatever crazy idea I had accumulated over a lifetime not made it into the book, but it could have. And so there was this huge canvas, right? So the galaxy was wide open, and I populated. It was crazy stuff. The second book, of course, needed to play along with the first, but it could introduce new things, new threats, new conflicts, and expand the scope quite a bit. In the third book, needed to wrap it up. I wanted to write a trilogy, and it had to come not necessarily full circle, but it had to come to an end that made sense, not just for the one book story arc, but for all three. And I struggled with that quite a bit. So the third book was the hardest to write, but it's here now. I'm glad I can present it here tonight. It's good to be back, and that's true both for being back on the moon and me being back here, which is the less important event.
Not at all.
But,
not at all.
Yeah, it's good to be back here, guys.
Well, thank you. Now, there, you have a presentation that we want to share that you sent our way. I added a background to it. I hope you don't mind. So I want you to walk us through it. It's comprehensive, and I'm going to let you go into it. So if you would, Chris, if you want to bring that back and let Bert take care of that. There you go. All yours.
Super. Yeah, I sent a little bit of material because I know you always ask about, well, what's the inspiration? How did you come up with all this crazy stuff to populate your science fiction universe? And so I thought, well, I'd better not be unprepared. So the third book is called Galacticide, and we see a copy of it. We see the cover, which shows one of the main characters looking at the basically main antagonist, which is chaos, which is the loss of realities, the loss of coherence in existence. So it's a pretty big topic in terms of what I wanted to tackle. If you show the next one, it probably makes a little bit more sense in terms of the trilogy. So once I had finished the first one, I knew I was going to write two more. So it was going to be sort of the classic 3-act narrative. And I wanted to up the stakes in every single book. So I started out with more of a classic space opera meets military sci-fi approach of having interstellar warfare. There's some ground combat on different planets. There are fleet encounters, large space fleets meeting up and fighting it out. So a lot of these themes are very familiar to not only classic science fiction fans, but all fans, basically. So that was my introduction to the universe. It allowed me to introduce the reader to different factions, to how the factions would interact, to different threats, the different levels of conflict, the characters, of course. And then for the second book, I wanted to up the stakes more, so it goes into intergalactic conflict. It's the Milky Way versus whoever is trying to destroy it. So that was the next level of conflict. So the second book is, the scope is really about intergalactic conflict, and then where do you go from there, right? Is it interdimensional? I settled for, let's make it interreality. So in the first two books, there are species introduced that have quite a different outlook on what reality is, how they perceive time, how they perceive the surroundings, the different layers of things that they can actually, well, not quite see, but sense with the senses, is completely different from the human experience. There's some overlap with the humans, so they can communicate and share and have adventures together. That's what it's ultimately about. But they see the world completely in a different way. And so for the third book, I was thinking about I want to have an antagonist that threatens not just planets and space stations, or that threatens the galactic civilization, but that threatens the fabric of space-time itself. So the stakes are really high in the last one. The cast of characters gets put through the ringer quite a bit. Most make it, not everybody does, and it wraps up the major story arcs hopefully into a satisfying conclusion.
Excellent. But that doesn't mean it's the end. Number one, I know that you have more stories to tell, but you're actually going to tell us about your inspirations.
The story never really ends, right? The universe keeps turning, and that is true for the real thing as much as fictional universes. So there's always, it's where the told story ends, but there are always more things that are happening. There are characters that can be expanded from their untold stories in their new perspective. So I have planned a second trilogy that is set in the same universe, but from a entirely different perspective. So yes, there will be more. But thanks for showing my stuff here. I really appreciate that. As I said, preemptive to your always, the question comes always up, what was your inspiration? So there is a lot of stuff that goes through my head, and 1% of it makes it into the book. I'm fascinated by lots of strange and nerdy things. One thing I wanted to write about really was fate, the concept of fate. And so when you ask me, okay, so far I've been talking about what's happening in the books, but when someone asks me what are the books about, then the first book is about adversity and how you deal with it. The second book is about loyalty and its different forms, and the third book is about fate. And is fate something? Is everything that you follow on your life path, is it already written? Is it preordained? Or are you do you have free will, and at every branch, at every corner, it's really your turn to take, or is it somewhere between the extremes? Now fate is an interesting thing in Western civilization. We use the singular today, but for most of the time, dating back to ancient Greece, there were the three fates. So there were three godlike entities that would set our fate, the thread of life, and it's usually depicted as three women, and the leftmost is the spinner, and so she creates our thread of life, our birth, basically, and gives it substance. And then the central figure is sort of the allotter, someone who says, well, this is how much life you have, and these are the things that are going to happen. And the rightmost is going to cut the thread. This is determining how we die and when. So this is how, throughout Western mythology, fate was seen. It's kind of a thread of life. And I always thought that was a really cool way to look at things. And things can happen to the thread. It can be very straightforward. This is an easy part in your life. It can be convoluted and knotted up. That's a really tricky part of your life. It can loop back. Sometimes you do things and you feel like I'm not really making progress in my life. And it's all very easy to picture this with this ancient way of looking at predetermination in how you walk through existence. So I thought that was cool. But I don't write mythology books. I don't write alternate history books. I write science fiction. So I needed to science fictionize it somehow. So I was looking for how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to root this in science. And there is a concept in physics called world lines. And I don't want to go into the super esoteric nitty-gritty, but world lines are a geometric representation of the theory of relativity. So a mathematician came up with this idea, well, why don't we have sort of a four-dimensional chart here? Of course, we only have 2 dimensions on the slide, so space is the x-axis and time is the y-axis. So you have space-time and you have a path through it. And everything that exists has a path. It can be an object, a planet, a star. It can be the books in the background. It's me and you. We all have a path through space-time, and we have a beginning. Sadly, we have an end, and in the meantime, we do things. So we go places. We of course move along with our planet, but on the planet we do different things. We do them at different times. So that is our path. And I thought this is very similar to the threads that the fates weave, and this is rooted in actual science, so I can do something with it. And of course, what you do as a science fiction author who uses a lot of armed conflict in the books, I thought about how can I weaponize this? How can someone make a ray or a bomb out of this concept to try to harm someone else? So I looked at, if you want to move one forward, so what you see on the right, that's pretty much how I envision these world lines in the universe. So everybody has a world line. Sometimes they meet, sometimes they intertwine, and this is what a physicist would call a causal interaction. So causality, we're all somewhat familiar with it from a very intuitive aspect. There's the cause, there's the effect, right? So New York Pete asks me a question, I give a response. There's the cause, the effect is my response. So, and there's a linear flow between those, and it goes on and on and on. So that's something we can wrap our head around very quickly. And a causal connection means, for example, this interview right now, right? So we live in different cities, and we're not hanging out all the time, which is unfortunate, but now we do. It's virtual. So we now causally connected through this interview process. So this will be one of the windy intertwined knots there where our world lines meet and stay together for a while, and we separate again, and so on. And I was fascinated by the idea about for how we use this in everyday language, right? If you say I'm close to someone, it really means in terms of geometrical physics, it's like your world lines interact quite a bit. You're causally closely connected. And I thought this is all interesting stuff. And so again, back to it is a healthy dose of military sci-fi. How would one weaponize this? So I came up with this alien faction who is very motivated to take revenge on the Milky Way denizens, including the humans. And they come up with a weapon that negates causality, that destroys this relationship, this very fabric of what is the natural world for us. And I have several things to gain from this, which I think are major spoilers, so I'll leave the explanation there. They have good reasons from their perspective to do it. And so there is this causality bomb. There is this weapon that can basically shred space-time and its underlying purpose into pieces. So it's a pretty nasty weapon, and as I said, the protagonist is put through many adventures to figure out what the heck is this, how can we beat it, and then eventually, hopefully, take care of that.
And now we're making our way quickly, Bert-Oliver, to the second to last. This is really interesting that you brought this up as well, and then we're going to dive right into your last book. But explain this, please.
Okay, this is one of the lines. The main characters says when they're discussing about, well, how does this all work, right? So all these concepts. One of the part that was difficult was to everything I just said to wrap it into a mid-1950s style, somewhat pulpy science fiction adventure, right? Because I'm not writing physics books. I'm here to entertain. Now, the book have enough depth. If you're forced to write an essay about it, you could, but you can also just read it before bedtime. So it ideally it does both, right, or can do both. And so the reader comes along for the main characters figuring these things out. So everything I just said, it's not intuitive to them either. And although the plot is set in a distant future, some of the stuff is really cutting edge, even by their standards. And these are interstellar civilization. The faction that comes up with the causality bomb is a galaxy spanning civilization. So these guys have figured a lot of stuff out. But these things are difficult for them. So I take the reader along for this exploration about, how does this all make sense? How can we work this? How can we work against it? So this is one of the lines out of the book.
Which brings us to the Galacticide.
Yeah, so Galacticide is the title of the last book. It's also the title for the trilogy. So why is that, and why is the namesake title the last book of the trilogy? Well, it hints at the cyclic nature, right? So the first book has content, and then the second book's content picks up where the first leaves off, and then the third one picks up where the second leaves off. But then what comes after the third book, you could see it as, well, isn't it the first? So there is a cycle of events, and there's time travel involved, which I personally like quite a bit, and I can't believe that I held back until the third book, until there was a time travel element to all this. So there are ways how the characters, the conflict, go full circle, and their question is really, can we get out of this circle? And it's a very destructive circle. There's a lot of stuff that blows up, and there's much bloodshed in all three books. So they're thinking about, is going back to fate, is this a fated event where we supposed to maybe basically look at this galaxy defining event, the galacticide, over and over and over? Or do we have the means? Do we have free will? Can we escape it?
Wow. This is so. I hope you guys that are watching have actually looked at the bullets, because as Bert, you're telling us and explaining to us, this background that permeates your story and the trilogy, and it's coming directly from your mind's eye and from your thoughts as the creator. And I'm looking at ancient cataclysm, erased history, technological equalizer, facts turned myth, technologies turned legends, ancestor cult, and glorification of conflict, as you were explaining yourself. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I was like, oh man, this is incredible. This is incredible. So you said when we started that this, in fact, now is the completion of this story. You've written the third books, and this is now out. It's on Amazon. Where else can we get this? Is it an audio book? Where do we go with the trilogy before you tell us about your future?
Okay. Well, the easiest way to get it is on Amazon. You can get it as an ebook, or print copies are available. There is currently if you want to try Three Immortals as a free ebook download, you can go to my website, sign up for my email list, and get a free copy of the first ebook. So that's available right now. I want to reach out to as many classic science fiction fans as I can. I also need to live, so the second and third book still comes with a price tag, but the first one you can try if you want to try a new universe. I know I'm not a big brand name, so I'll leave it to classic science fiction fans to decide for themselves. I know the audiobook question is very popular, so I've been signed up for a beta program from Amazon, and I was a very early adopter for the KDP hardcover rollout. So they now have me as a sort of a beta author for their virtual voice audiobook program.
Okay.
So they're basically the algorithm takes your text and translates it into what they call virtual voice. Now, this has actually come a long way. I know this just a few years ago. These things tended to sound quite horrible. The new stuff is actually surprisingly good. So I'm in the conversion process right now to have the audiobooks out like that. Now, I wish I'd be a rich author and could just take the trilogy and spend, I don't know, 10, 12,000 for a really good reader to have them all read professionally. So I'm going for the Amazon offer right now and have it read with the virtual voice. And I offer it at really low cost because some people might be opposed to it. Some people might want to try it and say, hey, you know what, if it's a good story and it's well enough read, then I'll try that. So they make for really cheap audiobooks. I'm offering this right now also for the first one, Three Immortals, Dark Cascade is following, and eventually Galacticide. So that is in the works. More books won't come before a year from now. I'm not the fastest writer, and I have to outline an entire trilogy, which I haven't done before. But there will be more books coming. There will be 3 more in an additional trilogy that goes hand in hand with this series.
Wow. Wow. I wanted to mention that there are some comments from a lot of our followers from all over. I'm going to pick one at random. Chris McCauley, Bert's work is great. And Eric Engler, quick hello from Hyderabad, India. Keep the faith. And Baz says, good day from Canberra, Australia. He really likes your work. And Sean Shallow, of course, greetings from his Battlestar bulletin board. It's in, let's see, of course, John 1, interesting concept. He likes has read your books. Very, very interested. And let's see, there's one other. Yes, Baz also and says that now this guy is interesting. And so wanted to bring that up. And let me see, Mediocre Modeler, there's a lot of stuff that blows up. LOL, sounds like my kind of story. So I just wanted to point out a few of the many that came up here. So thanks for commenting, guys. Really appreciate it. Bert, we are always excited to have you. We love your work and how you go about doing it. And you're very methodical. We appreciate that. And of course, you're a sci-fi fan. It makes a difference. And a fan of IFBs. I want to, in the future, I want you to come onto our Interfleet Broadcasting exclusive when you're ready. And we'll do an exclusive spot with you, and we'll talk about your upcoming work. And I want to, as soon as this audio is ready, or any of your other projects, you please give us a heads up, and we will do an exclusive with you. We love your work, love everything you do, and truly appreciate your time, and we thank you. So I will toast to you and the many successes that are to come. But at least for this trilogy, Bert-Oliver Boehmer, congratulations. And Chris, there we go.
Yeah.
So
I had to refill I drank the other one already. So.
Well, thank you so much, guys, and thanks for everything that was mentioned in the comments. That means a lot to me, and I know this is a classic science fiction fan community here, and so it's always a pleasure to join in. Cheers.
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 Thank you for coming
Thank
on.
you. Oh, fantastic. Bert, we love your work, man. Keep up the great work. That is awesome. It's so cool when we first met. Bert-Oliver came on, and he had actually he was following us. Then he came on. We did his initial interview when he first was writing, and then from then to now, and he's wrapping up the trilogy. And he's been he's a follower. He's always on. He chats it up with us, and he's a sci-fi fan and author, successful author at this point. So it's really cool when we have people like him coming on, and we really, really appreciate it. So thank you very, very much for taking the time out, and continued success. And like,
right, somebody Chris, like that who does so much work to create. Once again, we always say create universes.
Yeah.
Create the fandoms. They have to get in there and do the work. And these people, the authors, and especially this one, has really gone in and done a lot.
Oh yeah,
work
absolutely.
To create a universe that they can write in, and then expand on that universe as it gets, past book 1 or book 2 into a trilogy. I can't imagine the amount of work it takes to, what fantastic mind a person has to do something like that. It's just
and the dedication.
Yeah, it's got to be fantastic. I have a hard
so
time
cool.
just concentrating for the last 10 minutes, but
I enjoyed the breakdown and the analysis.
That's what's really cool is you can see where the ideas come from, and how it goes from mythology to science to that's once again, that's what makes universes, that's what makes fandoms.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to the audio. and we'll see how that plays, especially since it's in it's in an early stage of development, and it sounds like it's gone, beyond some of that stuff. We'd all kind of encountered some of it. It was not very good in the beginning, but hopefully it's advanced. I know that Bert-Oliver would not allow his work to just be done haphazardly. So I'm looking forward to the audio books. It's a very easy way to enjoy, and
especially since I drive back and forth to work so much.
I've
people actually work for a living.
Yes, isn't that a shame, Chris? I don't know. You did something wrong in your past. It's the fates. It's the fates. Be careful, because when they come to clip that, man, you're gonna be,
Cylon's work is never done.
Oh boy, I'm truly looking forward to getting into that trilogy, though. And we, of course, had a whole bunch of input from a lot of the fans, and also let's thank everybody that watches this in the future. Sometimes we hit numbers in the tens of thousands, 20, 30,000 that watch it afterwards. So we thank all of you around the world that tune in to watch IFB Interfleet Broadcasting. We'll keep you in the loop. We'll let you know exactly, where we're going and what we're doing. We're still working
where we won't be
on the
going
Stranded
as well.
Warrior. Say again?
And where we won't be going.
Yes, that as well too. However, for now though, I did want to mention that Chuck Davenport, who has taken on the responsibilities of putting together the Stranded Warrior as a short for use and submission into the vast world of the film festivals. Yep, and we're targeting about 30 of them that we will be qualifying because of the genre and the fact that it's a fan film. So we are gunning for those, not to mention, of course, the fact that we have award-winning filmmakers and actors, cast and crew that are a part of the Stranded Warrior. That gives us a leg up on some other festivals that we are not, targeting specifically. So there is going to be that coming in the near future, as well, Chris, as hopefully a director's cut that will have everything in it.
Yeah.
I will tell you this though, Chris, I didn't get a chance.
And then we'll eventually release the part 2 that we're.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So there's a couple of things there.
Yeah.
One is. Chuck and I discussed the idea of, well, not really discussed. He brought it up, and we actually did kind of, lightly went over it. The fact that we could create a documentary out of the process. There was a lot that you've said before, Chris. We learned a lot. Yeah. So there's a possibility that we could use a lot of what we shot and a lot of the outtakes, and then we could sit and actually do a documentary.
I would love to do just the background talk about it.
Yeah.
And we had talked about that piece too. So it'd be even with the short. I think we could do what do they call it, director's voiceover type thing. Where
that's a hands down. Yeah. But I just thought the idea of you and I and then others that were involved to come in
and making of a fan film.
Making of a modern fan film, I think would really, really be very interesting. Yeah. And I think that a lot of people outside of just us and our world here, I think would gain a lot of knowledge from it.
Yeah, and hopefully maybe invite some people to comment on things like if we get a lawyer or somebody to talk about the legalities or something.
What that's all about and stuff. Yeah. And so the sky's the limit, Chris. There's a lot that we can do with it, and I'm hoping that as the future rolls out, that we can, harness some of that. But in the near future, our goal, guys, is we are working very, very hard with Chuck and the team, and some of the clips that we're putting together are incredible. I got to tell you that I am privy. I get to see some of these things sometimes before Chris does. And the work that's going into it, special effects wise, is is phenomenal. I mean, never mind the acting and everything, the props and everything else that went into it, but the rest of it, the post production, and you guys will enjoy it. You'll see. I
Oh, yeah.
promise.
It's definitely going to be a fantastic product.
Lola says, in other words, it becomes so popular, make a complete film.
Yeah, I'd
Lola,
love to. I really would.
look, Lola, bottom line is this.
We wrote it.
You
We
kinda-
wrote enough to have a complete film.
Exactly. So that was where I was going to go, Chris, based on, so I was going to, kind of like wrap up things a little bit with what you started to say in terms of, the part two. And now with Lola saying there was a part two that we wrote out. It wasn't meant as a part two. It just that the Stranded Warrior.
As we got writing, we got
Yeah.
more in depth, and yeah.
Yeah, it got, but the full story of how we envisioned Martin's ultimate fate. Talking a lot about fate here tonight. Was we wrote it all out, and what happened, how it happened, what ended up.
Red
Eye's
backstory.
Yeah, all of that is all part of more
Lacerda,
than
yep.
we could do. Yeah, Lacerda, all of that, and so there is another part. So the question is, maybe we do release the other part of the
notes,
script,
yeah, at least, yeah.
and the notes, and we do it as a short documentary, and maybe we do that. We can do this. We film it all up. We put it together, and then we put that out with unedited footage. So footage that doesn't need to be fixed or cleaned up or anything. It's just raw, and we use that to tell the rest of what we want to tell. So there's a lot going on. Stranded Warriors out there. We constantly release stuff, Chris, on our social media.
Yes.
And I don't know.
What do you mean? Oh no, I know. It's fantastic. We can't wait to get it done.
Yep.
And we really appreciate Chuck's work. I mean, it's without Chuck, we'd be in some very troubling times.
Yes, it would be even more troubling, but it's happening, guys. It's happening. Just be patient. It is definitely happening one way or the other. Chuck's idea of doing this possible documentary is also viable. So there's a lot of things that'll end up coming from this, a lot of good. In the meantime, keep checking in with us.
Yep.
We thank you guys for tuning in, and next week is another episode of Interfleet Broadcasting with another guest. Keep an eye out.
And now that Pete's figured out his problem, it'll even be better.
That's right. So thank you, everybody, for your patience. Thank you, Chris, for figuring out that it was whatever it was, we ended up making it happen. So thanks, guys, and keep watching for our broadcasts. All right.
Yeah. So don't forget to tune in every Thursday. We're here, and we will be broadcasting something every Thursday at a minimum. But we usually have at least a good show like we did tonight with authors and everything else. Hey, did he say who he was coming up next?
No, but we'll
figure it out. We'll put it out.
We'll put it out. Absolutely.
But anyways, it's great to have you fans out there. It's great to be here, and things are fantastic with everybody. We're gonna get better now that Pete's fixed. So we're not listening to Pete talk in the past. We're talk in the present and act in the past.
That's right. Hey, Dave, I'm glad you're watching. I'm glad you're settled. Dave moved, and I think he's in another place that's just as good, if not better, if not now, eventually. So
welcome, Dave. I'm moving too. So here's to everybody. Thank you so much again. We'll see you next Thursday. And remember, always, fans feel the fleet and Cylons rule.